A space probe was moving rapidly towards Earth from the depths of infinite space. That probe had taken a soil sample from Mars exactly 8 months ago and was about to enter Earth's orbit in a few days, but then the orbit revolving in space collided with an asteroid, which caused a slight change in its direction. However, due to this slight change in the direction of the probe, instead of revolving in Earth's orbit, the probe was going to get lost in the depths of space passing through that orbit. But the scientists present on Earth did not want to lose that probe under any circumstances. Now the responsibility of rescuing that probe was on the crew members of the International Space Station revolving around Earth. Although there was a lot of risk in this rescue mission, but the engineer of the space station, Rory, took command, and with the help of his team, he succeeded in capturing that probe through a large robotic arms present in the space station. Indeed, this was a great success because for the first time humans had got a sample of Mars soil. The very next day the crew members were able to collect a sample of Mars soil. He brought the sample to his quantum lab for examination. His aim was to find signs of life in the soil of Mars. This mission was being led by Mission Commander Kat, whose team included Engineer Rory, Medical Officer David Quanton, Officer Miranda, Biologist Hugh, and System Engineer Sho. When Biologist Hugh examined that sample of the soil of Mars through a microscope, he saw a surprising thing. He saw a single-cell organism, that is, a single-celled microbe, present in the soil of Mars. Seeing this, Hugh and the rest of the team members were overjoyed because that microbe was proof that life exists outside the Earth as well. But that microbe was not making any movement. Hugh guessed that perhaps that microbe was in a state of hibernation, that is, deep sleep. At this time, the temperature of the chamber in which it was less than minus. To wake it up, Hugh increased the temperature of the chamber to 20 degrees Celsius, but even then there was no movement in that microbe. Then Hugh thought, why not change the atmosphere of the chamber? Hugh molded the atmosphere of the chamber according to the Protozoan era. Actually, Protozoan is that era when life started on Earth. At that time only microbes were present on Earth. In that era, oxygen was very less on Earth and carbon dioxide was more. Hugh also increased the amount of carbon dioxide by reducing the level of oxygen in the chamber and gave a small amount of glucose to that microbe because glucose is the energy source for any cell. Now all the people's eyes were on that microbe. As soon as the atmosphere changed, there was movement in that microbe. That means that microbe had come out of hibernation. Seeing this, a wave of happiness ran inside the entire team member. They immediately informed the control center on Earth about this, after which all the people on Earth also became very excited with the discovery of that alien organism. In this way, time passed. Now it had been 12 days since that microbe had come to the space station. During this time, on continuously giving glucose, that microbe started thriving. Amazing changes had started taking place in the organism. It had changed from a single-cell microbe to a multi-celled organism and had taken a shape which could now be seen directly with the eyes without a microscope. Along with this, he noticed another strange thing in that organism. He found that every cell of that organism was a complete organism in itself. That is, every cell of it had its own brain, eyes, and muscles. That organism was growing rapidly, understanding the environment around it like a newborn baby. Hugh had become attached to that organism. He was taking care of it like a father. Then one day suddenly there was some problem in the air pressure of that chamber, due to which the chamber of that organism became very cold, and due to the cold, that organism once again became lifeless. Hugh again made the environment of the chamber according to that organism, but even then there was no movement in that organism. Then Hugh decided that he would give a slight electric shock to that organism so that the organism wakes up. Hugh put his hand in the chamber through the gloves present in that chamber, and with the help of an electric stick, he gave him a mild electric shock, but that too did not wake the creature up. So Hugh tried again, and this time he gave a shock to another part of his body. Then suddenly the creature woke up with a jolt and grabbed one of Hugh's hands with its tentacle and also broke his electric stick. The creature had gripped the surface of the chamber and held Hugh's hand so tightly that Hugh was unable to pull his hand out of the glove even after applying full force. The creature was gradually tightening its hold on Hugh's hand. All the crew members had trackers on their hands and feet which monitored their position and physical activities. David checked Hugh's physical activities through that tracker and told his team that Hugh's heart rate was increasing, which meant that Hugh was in a lot of pain. David and Rory wanted to go inside the lab to help Hugh, but quarantined Miranda stopped them because she had received instructions that if she felt any danger from that alien creature, she would seal the lab even if one of their companions was inside it. Hugh was following those instructions with great force, and Hugh was keeping his courage up and was struggling to get free from the creature's grip, but then the creature grabbed Hugh's hand tightly and first broke one of his fingers with its strong tentacle and then broke all the bones of his palm by pressing his hand with full force. Hugh cried out with unbearable pain and fell unconscious right there. To help Hugh, David and Rory kept asking Miranda to open the lab door, but even then Miranda did not break the rules and did not let anyone go inside. The creature left Hugh after crushing the bones of his palm. Now the creature started coming out of the chamber through the glove, but that rubber glove was very strong. Seeing that it was unable to penetrate, Hugh's companions standing outside were relieved that the creature would not be able to come out of the chamber, but the creature was smarter than they thought. It went back to the chamber and broke the glass electric stick and brought it. It made a hole in the glove with the pointed part of the stick and came out of the chamber. Seeing the intelligence of the creature, everyone was stunned. However, the creature was still locked in the lab, so the people outside were safe, but Hugh's life was in danger. In another chamber of the same lab, a rat was kept for some experiment. Then the creature entered the chamber of the rat and started to coax the rat as if lovingly, but the rat sensed the danger and attacked the creature. Seeing this, the creature caught the rat and within a few moments sucked and ate the rat completely. After eating the rat, the size of the creature became even bigger. After this incident, all the crew members had understood that now the creature was going to suck and eat Hugh in the same way. Then seeing that creature in the chamber, Rory went to the lab. He opened the door and went inside and took Hugh out from there. After taking Hugh out, Rory also immediately started coming out of the lab, but then the creature came out of the chamber in a flash and grabbed Rory's leg. Seeing this, Miranda was forced to lock the lab door. Rory also understood the situation, but now Rory's life was at stake. Seeing this, Rory picked up an oxygen candle which had a heating tube inside it. Rory broke the glass of the heating tube and burnt the creature with the heating tube, due to which the creature left Rory's leg and moved away from him. Seeing Rory free from the creature, the commander asked Miranda to take Rory out, but Miranda said that she can open the lab door only when the creature is in its chamber, although it was impossible to put the creature back in the chamber. On this, Rory and the rest of the team decided that now they will burn the creature and kill it. Rory picked up a flamethrower and started raining fire on the creature, but that clever creature kept escaping from every attack of Rory. Unfortunately, the fuel of the flamethrower got over, and at that very moment the creature hit somewhere. Rory looked here and there, but then suddenly the creature attacked Rory from behind and entered his stomach directly through his mouth. Before Rory could regain consciousness, the creature began to suck and eat Rory from the inside. Rory's eyes and mouth started bleeding and he died there. Seeing this, the whole team was deeply shocked. At that time, the flamethrower, in which a light fire was still burning, waving in the air, touched the fire sensor, due to which the fire alarm rang and the ventilation to extinguish the fire opened. At the same moment, the creature came out of Rory's mouth. The creature had grown even bigger after eating Rory. It was so intelligent that it sensed the air coming out of the ventilation and understood that it could be used to get out through the ventilation. Seeing this, David and the commander went to Sho sitting on the system and asked him to turn off the ventilation, but the button to turn off the ventilation was not working. On this, Sho quickly started to turn it off manually, but before the last ventilation was turned off, the creature ran out of that ventilation. Seeing this, all the crew members were scared because that creature was now free and could be anywhere in the space station. They took Rory's body out of the lab with fear and wrapped it in a file and placed it in the cargo deck. After this, the commander immediately contacted her control center on Earth and started telling them that the alien creature had gone out of their control. They need help, but at that very moment there was some problem in their communication system, due to which their contact with the Earth was completely lost. Sho told that this problem is with the transmitter present outside the space station. If they repair it, then they can re-establish contact with the Earth. It was decided to repair the transmitter. Then the commander showed courage and came out of the space station wearing a space suit. However, there was a risk in this work because that creature could be anywhere outside the space station. The commander started looking for the fault in the transmitter. She saw that the transmitter had become very hot. The commander understood that there was some problem in the cooling system of the transmitter, but that cooling system was connected to the ventilation of the space station. The commander asked Sho if that creature could be in the cooling compartment. To this, Sho said yes, it could be there as well. But still, taking the risk, the commander opened that compartment, but that creature was not there. The commander saw that the transmitter had been opened. The cooling liquid was completely empty. Then Hugh told the commander that the alien was a carbon-based creature like humans. It needs food, water, and oxygen to survive. Is it possible that the creature has absorbed that coolant liquid as food? Hearing this, the commander became alert. She had just turned towards the cooling compartment when suddenly that creature came out of that compartment and grabbed the commander's suit. Seeing this, the heartbeats of all the crew members stopped for a moment. The commander asked Hugh that how is that creature alive even without oxygen? On this, Hugh told that perhaps that creature has the ability to store oxygen inside it, but it will not be able to live without oxygen for long. Then David said to the commander, "Commander, you come to the airlock quickly. Now I will burn that creature to death." Hearing this, the commander closed the cooling compartment and started going towards the airlock, but at that very moment that creature grabbed the commander's suit with so much force that the cooling cooling liquid pouch of his suit burst inside and the cooling liquid came out and fell on his body. The liquid that started coming into the helmet was poisonous, so David told the commander to avoid drinking that liquid, but by the time the commander reached the airlock, her helmet was completely filled with liquid, due to which the commander was drowning in that liquid and some amount of liquid also went into her mouth. Seeing this, David, who was present in the airlock, quickly started opening the airlock for the commander, but then the commander closed the airlock from outside because the commander had understood that she would not be able to survive now. She did not want to put her colleagues in danger by bringing that creature back to the space station. On the other hand, David kept shouting at her to open the door, but the commander did not open the door, and in a short while the commander died by drowning. In the liquid, his body started floating towards the open space, then the creature left him and jumped into the space station. The commander's death was like a shock for David and all the crew members, but at that time they were also not safe because that tongue was looking for a way to enter back inside the space station. Meanwhile, Hugh told his team that I am also surprised to see that creature in open space without oxygen for so long, but I am sure that it will not be able to stay outside for long. If we are able to stop it from entering the space station, it will die outside itself, but for that we will have to find out from where it can enter the space station. Then Sho said that thrusters, that creature can enter inside the space station through the thrusters. Actually, thrusters are that part of the spaceship from where the fuel burns and comes out rapidly, which controls the speed of the spaceship, and the direction of the spaceship is also changed by that. Sho said to Hugh, "Let that creature come. As soon as it enters the thruster, I will turn on the engine, due to which it will burn and die there." Hearing this, Hugh said that there are 6 thrusters in this space station. How will we know from which thruster that creature is coming? On this, Sho said, "Don't worry, sensors are installed in the thrusters. Whichever thruster it enters, its temperature will change, due to which we will know which thruster it is coming from." Sho had just said this when there was a change in the temperature of a thruster, which meant that the creature was entering from there. Sho immediately turned on that thruster, but that creature immediately went away from there. Similarly, that creature kept trying to enter through one thruster after another, and Sho kept turning on the thrusters to stop it. But then a time came when the fuel of the space station became very low, and due to repeatedly turning on the thrusters, their space station also came down from its orbit. Sho told his team that now we cannot waste fuel. We have to bring the space station back to orbit with the remaining fuel, otherwise the space station will fall on the Earth and get destroyed. Saying this, Sho brought the space station back to its correct position with the remaining fuel. With this, finally that creature entered back into the space station through a thruster, and they could not do anything. Now once again death was hovering over their heads. Meanwhile, Hugh told his team that as we know that billions of years ago, life also existed on Mars at that time. That alien creature will rule, but later on, when Mars will no longer be habitable for that creature, so his body would have automatically gone into the stage of hibernation, i.e. deep sleep, and he would be alive there till today in the form of a cell. Similarly, if the environment of this space station is not suitable for that organism to live, then that organism will automatically go into the stage of hibernation. I have a plan. We will lock ourselves in a chamber and take out all the air of the space station. Then that organism will not be able to survive for long without air. Everyone implemented Hugh's plan. They all came into a chamber and started sealing it. Meanwhile, Hugh suddenly got a shock and his health started deteriorating. Seeing this, Miranda came to Hugh and asked him whether everything is fine or not. On this, Hugh said that everything is fine. After this, they completely sealed that chamber and started taking out all the air of the space station except that chamber. This process was going to take 4 to 5 hours. Till then, they were all talking and encouraging each other. Meanwhile, Hugh said that the alien creature does not hate us, rather it just wants to live, and to live, it needs to do everything. While saying that he is cooking us his food, Hugh suddenly started writhing in pain. Seeing this, David, Miranda, and Shaw came towards him. Then Hugh said, "Forgive me, friends," because after saying this Hugh fainted. The trackers attached to Hugh's hands and feet gave them a signal that Hugh's heartbeat has stopped. They immediately shocked Hugh with a defibrillator, but it did not have any effect on Hugh. Then Miranda saw that there was some movement on Hugh's feet. When Miranda pulled up Hugh's pants, she saw that the alien creature was stuck on Hugh's leg and was eating his leg. Seeing this, they all got scared and moved back. Actually, Hugh had already realized that the creature had grabbed his leg. Even after knowing how dangerous that creature was, Hugh did not tell his companions about it because Hugh had raised that creature like his son. He had become attached to that creature, so he sacrificed himself for its food. Then Miranda killed that creature with a defibrillator. He gave a jolt and the creature let go of Hugh's leg, got up and started staring at them. Seeing him, all of them got scared and started running away from there. That creature started chasing them very fast. David and Miranda ran away from him and entered a chamber, but Sho could not reach that chamber and the creature was just about to catch Sho when Sho ran and entered a sleeping pod. Sho narrowly escaped. That creature tried to break Sho's sleeping pod with its tentacle, but it failed. It left Sho and went away. Sho tried to contact his companions with his transmitter, but due to being inside the pod, he could not contact them. In frustration, he removed the transmitter and threw it away. Meanwhile, on the other hand, David and Miranda had reached back to Hugh's chamber. They were sad due to Hugh's death. Meanwhile, they checked Sho's position. They were able to see his position from the tracker attached to Sho's hands and feet, but surprisingly, they were able to see the position of that creature as well. Miranda guessed that perhaps while eating Hugh's leg, that creature must have swallowed the tracker attached to Hugh's leg as well. This was a good news for them because now they were trying to find out what the creature was doing. They could track the creature. Then they made a plan. They hung Hugh's dead body in the same chamber and waited for the creature to come back to Hugh. Then the creature reached him smelling Hugh's blood and started eating his corpse. Seeing this, David and Miranda locked it in that chamber and removed all the air from that chamber. After that, they started waiting for the creature to die. But then an alert came on their space station. They saw that a probe from the Earth was coming towards their space station. They became happy thinking that maybe when the commander had made an emergency call to the control center, they had heard their conversation and now help has been sent for them from the Earth. But then that probe suddenly came and joined their space station and started pushing it into space. Seeing this, David got shocked. Then Miranda told David that the probe has not come to rescue us, but to take the space station away from the Earth. Actually, I had made a protocol with the committee that if that alien creature turns out to be dangerous and comes out of the lab, then the space station should be destroyed so that the alien creature cannot reach the Earth even if there is a crew member present in that space station and they are following the same protocol. Meanwhile, on the other hand, Sho also got an alert about the arrival of that probe, but he felt that the probe has come to rescue them. Not seeing that alien creature around, Sho came out of the pod and started going towards that probe, but he did not know that the alien creature was in the chamber near the probe itself. David and Miranda saw Sho going in the direction of the alien creature on the monitor and started contacting it to stop it, but Sho had left his transmitter behind.
When he stopped it, by then, Sho had reached the probe and was opening the airlock when that alien creature started coming towards it from behind. On the other hand, when David and Miranda reached that probe, they saw that the creature had attacked the astronaut present on the probe, and Sho somehow escaped from that probe and ran away. David and Miranda rushed towards Sho to save him, but then the astronaut inside the probe died, and the balance of the probe got disturbed, and the probe started getting detached from the space station, due to which a gap was created, and the air of the space station started coming out rapidly, and Sho started pulling it back. Meanwhile, the alien creature pounced on Sho and started tearing him apart and eating him. Miranda ran to save him, but seeing the danger, David brought Miranda to the space station and closed the airlock, but behind them, the alien creature also entered the space station. Then the probe got detached from the space station and became uncontrollable, and went into space, destroying their space station. Now, all the oxygen in their space station was coming out rapidly, and due to disturbance in air pressure, cold air started getting released in the station. As if this trouble was not enough, David saw that their space station was slowly falling towards the Earth. It was going to collide with the Earth's atmosphere within about 40 minutes. He had now understood that it was difficult for him to survive, although he did not care about his life, but he wanted to stop that alien creature from reaching the Earth at any cost. Then David remembered that there are 2 escape pods in their space station. David thought of a trick. He said to Miranda, "I will bring that creature behind me in an escape pod and capture it in the escape pod and take it with me to the depths of space. Then you go to Earth in the other escape pod." However, Miranda was not ready for this. She did not want to let David die like this, but this was the only way they had to save the people of the Earth from that alien creature. David and Miranda got ready to execute that plan by wearing spacesuits. By that time, it had become very cold in the space station, and it was difficult for that alien creature to bear that cold. Taking advantage of this, David picked up some heating tubes and started going towards the escape pod, leaving them burning like bait. Seeing that hot heating tube, that alien tongue reached there and started coming behind David, absorbing its heat. David caught it. He brought David in the escape pod behind him. By then, Miranda had also come in her pod. As per the plan, they simultaneously gave ejector to the escape pods, but then both their pods collided with an object and went out of control. But then both the pods moved in their respective directions. David's pod went into space with the alien, and Miranda's pod fell safely into the sea with the help of a parachute. In the same sea, 2 fishermen were fishing in their boat. Seeing that pod, both of them took their boat and went towards that pod. They peeped into the pod, but it was surprising that not Miranda, but David was present in that pod with the alien creature. That is, when David and Miranda's pod collided with an object, their direction changed, due to which the pod with the alien fell on the Earth, and Miranda's pod went into space. That alien took out a net-like thing from inside himself and trapped David in it, and himself was hiding somewhere. Seeing David in danger, the fishermen started opening the door of the pod. Seeing Seeing this, David tried to stop them, but they did not stop and opened the door. Along with this, 2 more boats arrived there, which means that now the alien creature had got food and also a new planet to live on. Friends, this story ends with this. To watch its next part, please support and subscribe to my new channel. Thank you.